Yeah, I never forget when I worked at the venue, Victoria. I got a good job there. My mate Fred was head doorman with a guy called Dennis, Big Dennis, about 24, 25 stone, big geezer. And, you know, he had it to a T, mate. He knew exactly how to run a club, you know. It was Richard Branson's club by Barbara Dickinson, she was a director of it as well. But we used to go downstairs, but Fred used to do the snozzle, but not take it himself, but he used to serve it. And all the bands and all that to come down and see him, and he'd look after everybody. But he had so many people in the venue sorted. He's earning absolute fortunes, and the gear was Peruvian flake, and it come in little quarter ounces, and it come in little greaseproof like rice paper, and it was proper, mate, solid. His stuff was solid and very, very strong. And everybody that that he served, he looked after them, but he had a fortune out of it. But he really looked after them because everyone come back, people, the groups that was there was always on it, you know what I mean? And this time, we was downstairs and Marvin Gaye, he come to the gig. He wasn't on the gig, but he come to the gig. He come downstairs. He come downstairs to see Fred because he knows. I think it's before that his Fred's been giving him bits and pieces. And he asked Fred for something, and Fred gave him it. You know, he went away, and Fred was cutting it up, serving other people, and Fred was earning a lot of money. Marvin Gaye shot off with these two burly bouncing fellas. Yeah, he shot off next door to another room next door, and about hour and a half, he come back, and he was on the smoke. He was smoking it, yeah, and he come back for some more. And I was sitting down there. I was with Fred and Dennis. We were sitting down there, a couple of armchairs, you know, just it's our little place. Cups of tea, coffee, a few drinks, you know. You can have what you like down here, you know what I mean? Marvin come back again. He wanted some more, and Fred said, "Look, you know, I'll give you a nice bit there. You know, I haven't really charged you that much, you know, because you're Marvin Gaye. I looked after you, yeah. But no, you can't have no more because I got enough here to serve the people that I look after, other people. So I can't give you no more." And Marvin Gaye's going into one because once he's had the puff, like he's smoking it, not puff, you know what I'm on about. Once he's smoking it, the nose, you know, it gets older and you need more, yeah. So I can understand how he feels because I was on it myself years back, yeah. So anyway, he's going into one. Fred said, "Look, you can't have it, you know." One of the bouncers got really leery, you know, and it was going. Fred can handle it, so could Dennis, but I was more or less ready for it, you know. So I jumped up, crashed this big bouncer. I hit him on the chin. It was like slow motion. He slid down the door. It was like, you know, like you couldn't believe it. What it was like. It was like when I hit him on the chin. You thought that nothing had happened to him because he just stood there, and all of a sudden he fell over slowly, and he went out like a light, mate. And this other one pulled out an hand thing. You know, listen, every one of us, our arseholes fell out the window, mate. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, like these are Americans, the VIPs. They come in on jets. You know, they can walk across customs excise. They don't really search them. And he's lot of guns, yeah. So Fred's looking at this guy a bit weird and said to Marvin, "Look, you know, you got to knock it out on your head because we're all pooing ourselves. We're all pooing ourselves." I said before that I'd give him a dig, but I didn't give him a dig. I gave the other one a dig. But the one with the gun, Marvin and Freddie was saying something to Marvin. "Look, I'll give you some more, yeah. I mean, but come on, we can't have that in the club." You know, you never knew this kid was going to pull the trigger. Do you know what I mean? Best yet me because I knocked his mate out, yeah. And so Marvin sort of went out to Fred, cuddled Fred, and the other bouncer put the thing away. And I wouldn't have given him my mate. I really wanted to smash him, you know what I mean? I wanted to really smash him. And he got a bit leery, this other one, and I battered him, man. I really battered him. I smashed him to pieces, mate. I really battered him, you know. In a way, we was lucky. We was lucky because the gun was took off him, and it was put somewhere. This is the truth. This is all that's happened. It was took. We put it somewhere. The geezer, without a shadow of a doubt, he'd have shot us. You know, he'd have shot us. He got knocked out. I got knocked his spark out. I mean, I hit him that hard that it hurt my elbow. When I hit him that hard, it hurt my elbow. You know, and Marvin, my mate Fred, gave Marvin a nice piece of stuff. You know, told him to leave it out, and Marvin went in there and didn't see nothing all night. That was it. Yeah. And another one when I was there was Madness. I think it's Madness or Bad Manners. Bust a blood vessel. Is it Madness or Bad Manners? Well, anyway, he was there. He had a couple of gigs there. You know, and he used to bring in. I mean, he used to bring in so many people with him. You know what I mean? Like they'd all come to watch him. You know, bust a blood vessel, eh? And he was hard work, mate. He was hard work. All his roadies were hard work. You know, they all wanted to do things their way and all that. We couldn't really, you know, and he was a bit rowdy, being a big guy. He was a bit rowdy. We didn't say a lot of notice to this guy, you know what I mean? But when the gig started, the first one, it was okay. It was sweet. And the second one, one of Bad Manners, Bust a Blood Vessel roadies jumped up on a stage and hit Bust a Blood Vessel over the head with a chair. But it was part of the gig. The chair was bolster wood, and when he whacked Bust a Blood Vessel over the head with this chair, Fred, head bouncer, run over, crash. He's hit this geezer, the one he's a roadie, this geezer. He's one of Bust a Blood Vessel's roadies. Fred's hit him so hard, right, and it's off. It's kicked off. It's kicked off, mate. I mean, we had to drag a lot off the stage, you know, to get him back into, because you had the door, get him behind the door, get him downstairs, and shut all the doors, and it really kicked off in there. I mean, it was when I say murders, there was noise, they're smashing the tables, chairs, everything, you know. We got everybody out off the stage on the back, yeah. Dennis, a big Dennis, he's as big as Bust a Blood Vessel, was really digging him out, Dennis. But don't worry about that Bust a Blood Vessel, mate. He ain't no idiot. He can have it himself, you know what I mean? He was like, well, you know, this is what happened. You know, whatever one of you want to have it with me, we'll have it, you know what I mean? And you know, you want to hit him on the chin, you know, but there was a few in there, a few roadies and this, that and the other, so none of us done nothing, we just let it go. So, oh, okay. Richard Branson and Barbara Dickinson phoned the police because they couldn't handle it. I mean, they shut the doors. It was a cinema, yeah. So they shut the doors going on to the beginning as you walk in there, the foyer. They shut all the doors there so no one could go out. But being it was an old cinema, they had them doors. You know, they click that doors and you rush out. You know, it goes when people leave the cinema, you can go out that way, you know, and open the doors. But a lot of them didn't go. And when the police come in, they called the police. I mean, loads of them come in, mate. It was packed with old Bill. And the amount of people that got out of there, but you wouldn't believe what was on the floor. There was broomsticks with knitting needles being burnt into them, and that was their weapons. I'm surprised none of us got stabbed up. You know, none of us got stabbed up at all. And another big thing what was there was a geezer called Joe Ely. He was a sort of a country and western singer. And come from, I think it was Canada, somewhere like that, Joe Ely. And he made a record of us about the guys in the venue Victoria. Yeah, because what happened, he was out of his nut. He's had the gig, he was out of his nut, right? And the roadies, I'm not joking, these Canadian roadies, they had beards, they was all 6'2", 6'3", 20, 30 stone geezers, massive, big hairy chests, you know what I mean? And we went, whoa. And we knew we was right in trouble with this lot, you know what I mean? Because if they wasn't around, we was like, going to have it, mate. It's going to be really odd. So anyway, Joe Ely, after the gig, got a bit out of hand. He started drinking like it was going out of fashion, and he got up the ladder on top of the roof, looking down to Victoria Road by the station there, and he was up there with another roadie, and he was chucking cans of beer down and bottles down at the cars as they was going by. He was causing murders. So people come in and said, look, you know, there's someone throwing cans and bottles from the roof. And, you know, when I went outside, mate, I thought, oh, what? He's on top of Joe Ely, we've got to get him down, you know. And so what it was a staircase, but it had this metal round it, like, you know, goes round like that, right to the top, so he wouldn't fall out. And I'm walking up there, but I'm walking up there with a dustbin lid on my head. It's just about to go through it, and he's throwing cans down at me, bonk, bonk. You know what I mean? And someone was behind me, and we had to go up there and get him down, yeah. And him and the roadie, there was big guys on the roof, weren't there? It's not dangerous, you know what I mean? You never know. I mean, you could go over the top of that, mate. So you got to be very careful about how you talk to him. So me and I think it was Fred. We just went up there and said, look, do us a favour, yeah? You know what I mean? No problem, no trouble. But the police are going to come and you're going to be whizzed away, you know? But come on, let's get down. So, yeah, man. So he got that. But he made the record about us, the bouncers at the Victoria. And when we got down and he walked to the foyer, he's a nutcase, mate. He walked to the foyer, Richard Branson's having a go at him. So he ran out into the street. This is pitch black. He ran out into the street like a raving nutcase with his big boots on. He come back and done a kick, a drop kick into the gate, into the doors. Smashed the doors, all the glass went everywhere, and then these big Canadian, what's it called these Canadian helpers, yeah, roasters, mate, they kicked off of us, yeah, and it's only because we stuck together. I mean, there was 3 of them, all big lumps, yeah. It's only because we stuck together, really, that we didn't bash them up. You couldn't bash these guys up. But we could calm them down, and we calmed them down. And Joe Ely come in after he smashed the glass, his legs cut, smashed it to pieces. Richard Branson's gone mad. He's more or less told him that he ain't getting paid for the night. You know, he ain't getting paid for the night. Do what he's got to do. The police are going to come. You better go. You know. And Joe Ely, is it E-L-Y, Ely? He left, yeah. But I think Richard Branson, like, you know, found him where it was an hotel or whatever. Like, he might have told him to phone him tomorrow. You know, Richard Branson went and give him his money. But it was murder there, mate. I've had some really good nights there, you know, some really, really good nights. And Richard Branson had some proper people around him, but very yuppie-fied, you know, very yuppie. And his dad, Richard Branson's dad used to be a red robe judge. Richard Branson's dad used to be a top barrister or QC, but his dad was a top judge, and they lived in St Albans. That's where the court was, St Albans, Crown Court, yeah. And they used to have a party in the house, around in the garden, big swimming pool, and all us guys on the doors, all the bouncers and all that, we weren't allowed there at all. But there was one night, there was this guy, one of Richard Branson's mates, yeah, and there was a little gig. It wasn't very big, but it was big enough, yeah. And the guy, this half-caste guy on the lighting desk, he'd got to the foyer or get to do something, and one of Richard Branson's people jumped on the desk, on the lighting desk, started fucking about the lights and whatever, it's all going around the gap, and the spotlights are going here and there and everywhere, you know. And Fred's got hold of me, he said, go and sort this guy out here on the lights. So I went over to the lighting board, the lighting desk, told the guy, come on mate, that's enough. He's got Larry with me, give it to me. Threw a punch, it was like my little boy punching you in the mouth, yeah. Threw a punch and it was like a baby. And I went back, bump, hit him on the chin. dragged him out by his fucking his jacket, dragged him out into the foyer, give him a few digs here and there, and Richard Branson came over and got hold of the guy. You could see the guy sitting up in the foyer, and Richard Branson's over there talking to him. All of a sudden, mate, old Bill come from nowhere and nicked me. They took me out. They nicked me to Victoria Police Station. I think it was Victoria Police, one of the police stations. I'm not quite sure which one it was yet. They nicked me, mate, for ABH and all this assault and all that going. And Richard Branson comes into the police station, didn't stand up for me, but what he said is he'd done his job, but he took it a little bit too far. You know, he shouldn't be reminded and all that, but until whatever, you know. But they let me go. Yeah. So when I went to the venue the next day, Richard Branson said to me, "You're sacked, yeah? You're sacked. It looks like you might have to go to court." I thought, oh, what? And I'm in Lewisham at that time, right? And all of a sudden, the letter came through the thing, I had to appear at St Albans Crown Court. So I appeared and they reminded me, yeah, on bail, right? And then I got done for a really, really bad a really bad one, you know. And I was sent to the scrubs, and I was on remand there. And one morning they come and got me. Come on, we're going to court. Oh, but that's quick, isn't it? And now you're going to St Albans Crown Court. I was up for a bad charge. I was up for attempted murder or something like that, yeah? A really bad charge. And I had to go to St Albans Crown Court. And I always thought that who I went in front of was Richard Branson's dad's dad. So he'd be about, I don't know, 80, 90, I don't know. But a red robe judge, top red robe judge. And I might be him, I don't know. I went in front of him and he went right into one, mate. He gave me a right speech. And he said, you're up for a very, very serious charge. There's nothing I can give you that's going to change anything, you know, but I'm going to suspend this sentence for 2 years and all this crap. Didn't matter, because I was going to go get guilty in this other one and go and get a lot of big sentence. I'm not quite sure I got a 7 or I got a 20 odd. I'm not quite sure what it was, but it was a big sentence that I got, yeah. Anyway, so I walked out of the court, and I've sat in there and oh, I can't believe this. You know what I mean? And on top of that, right, from there, right, and I went to Lambeth Walk, you know, to the holding cells. I went, oh, I've gone for all this shit, you know. I went back there, and they sent me to the Ville. And I was in the Ville about 2 hours. I was up for such a serious charge, they didn't want me in the Ville. So I was in their reception, sitting down there, thinking I'm the guy at the ring, I don't want to be there. I've been here before, I don't want to be there. And they come in and said, come on, you going? I said, where am I going? I said, where am I going? And they ain't telling me where I'm going, yeah? But they go, Belmarsh. What? I can't believe that I'm going to Belmarsh. This has got, everything's out of hand, right? I'm up for a serious charge. I know that Belmarsh is one of those places you're going to go for that serious charge, yeah? But I've just come from the scrubs, you know what I mean? And gone to St Albans. And then now I've wound up in Belmarsh. So I was in Belmarsh for about 4 months, yeah? And then I went to court. And then they shipped me back to the scrubs. But I've got a big bit of bird, mate. I got a big bit of bird, you know. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I'm not quite sure it was a 7 or a big bit of bird, whatever it was, yeah. It was for attempted murder and all that. I think it was 20 odd years ago, I'm not quite sure. But it was a big bit of bird, and you know. And that was it, really. When I come out after doing that big bit of bird, and I didn't think that I thought that's it. You know, and then went crazy. Anyway, bang, bang, rail. I ain't going to say it again because then it's a big story. It goes on and on and on. Nice one, yeah?